All right, now the second exercise. Continuing from the last exercise, I want you to extend HTML select element and implement a render method. So here I'm going to define an HTML select element and initialize it with an array of 3 items. Now s.render, this is what we get. A select element with 3 options. Now similarly, I want you to create an HTML image element that inherits from HTML element. So it can be clicked, it can be focused, but it also has its own render method. So let's create an image here, new HTML image element. Now here we can optionally pass the source or the address of the image. I'm not going to set that yet. Let's inspect this element. So here we have a source property which is undefined and the render method. You can see its prototype. So it inherits from an instance of HTML element. It has the click method as well as the focus method. So now I'm going to set image.source to HTTP, whatever. It doesn't really matter. And call image.render. So we get an image element in HTML. Once you do this, then I want you to create an array of elements. So here we have one select element and one image element. Then iterate over this array of elements and render them each. Note that here, my render method is returning a string. It's not doing a console.log. It's not the responsibility of this object. We don't want to couple this render method with console.log. We just want the HTML representation of an element, and somewhere else we decide what to do with that HTML representation. Maybe we want to add it to document object model, or maybe we want to log it on the console. That's why we shouldn't use console.log inside of the render method. So this is your polymorphism exercise. We have different objects. They all have the same parent. They all have a render method, but the render method behaves differently. We have different forms or multiple forms of the render method. That's what we call polymorphism. So save the changes back in the console. That's what you should get.